All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going on a really fascinating journey to demystify one of the biggest, most complex business models in the entire world. We're going to look at how a company that literally started out selling books out of a garage somehow managed to build this absolute empire that touches almost every part of our digital and physical lives.
So think about it for a sec. When I say the word Amazon, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? If you're like most of us, you're picturing your typical everyday experience, right? You open up the app, you search for something, maybe a new phone case, pair of shoes, whatever. You click Buy Now, and a couple days later, a smiling cardboard box is sitting right on your front porch. That is the Amazon we all know. But here's the thing, and honestly, this totally shifts everything. Amazon is not just an online store. In fact, some of their most crucial, most insanely profitable businesses have absolutely nothing to do with selling consumer goods directly to you. So, beyond those mountains of cardboard boxes sitting in our recycling bins, we're going to break down the actual business model that turned Amazon into a global juggernaut. Okay, Section 1, the store we all know. We're going to start right at the visible tip of the iceberg here. When you visit the site, look up an item, and buy it, Amazon makes money from that direct product sale, and they make a lot of it. In 2025, Amazon reported a jaw-dropping $269 billion in online store sales. And hey, that's not even counting the extra $22.6 billion they pulled in from their physical stores. The sheer scale of it is just staggering. But here is where the story gets really wild. Despite all that massive revenue, Amazon doesn't actually need to own, manufacture, or even warehouse every single product you see on their website. So you gotta wonder, how on earth are they moving so much merchandise if they don't even own half of it? Which brings us to Section 2, the hidden seller marketplace. Now we're plunging below the surface to look at this massive hidden engine of their business. Picture this. You're a small business owner. You've got 10,000 products sitting in a warehouse somewhere. On your own, it's a logistical nightmare. You have to build a custom website, spend an absolute fortune on marketing just to find customers, figure out secure payment gateways, organize the shipping. It's a lot. Or you look at option 4. You just go to Amazon. Millions of customers are already hanging out there, credit cards in hand. You just list your product and you're good to go. And of course, when someone buys your product, Amazon takes a cut for providing that marketplace and all the related services. And man, do those cuts add up. In 2025, Amazon reported an astounding $172 billion in third-party sellers' services revenue. That covers all those commissions, the fulfillment services, and the shipping fees. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that Amazon didn't manufacture the product, and it didn't even necessarily own the inventory. It just built the marketplace and basically charged a toll to use it. This is hands down one of the most powerful strategies in modern business, making vast sums of money simply by helping other people sell their stuff. All right, Section 3, ads and Prime subscriptions. Let's peel back another layer and look at how Amazon monetizes visibility. Imagine you search for wireless headphones. Hundreds of results pop up. But the ones right at the very top, you know the ones, they're usually marked as sponsored. Those sellers are actively paying for advertising. In 2025, Amazon brought in $68.6 billion in advertising services revenue. Why is that so lucrative? Well, because advertisers desperately want what Amazon has, which is people who are actively ready to buy right now. You aren't casually watching a funny video, you are looking for headphones with your wallet basically already out. Sellers will gladly pay to be put right in front of you. It's the ultimate win-win for Amazon and the seller. Then there's the whole loyalty piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about Prime. Customers pay a recurring subscription fee for delivery benefits and digital content, right? And in 2025, Amazon reported roughly $49.6 billion in subscription services revenue. But listen, it's actually not just about that upfront cash. The real secret here is the psychology behind it. Like, how many times have you had this exact internal monologue? You need some $20 item, and instead of shopping around on different websites or driving to a local store, you just think, well, I already have Prime. I'll just order it from Amazon. That one upfront subscription fee guarantees that a customer is going to keep coming back repeatedly. It fundamentally rewrites consumer behavior. Moving on to Section 4, the secret cloud empire. So now we're diving into the deepest, most surprising part of the iceberg, the part that most everyday shoppers never even think about. I'm talking about AWS, or Amazon Web Services.
Behind the scenes, businesses all over the globe use AWS for cloud computing, storing databases, running their tech infrastructure. And here's the totally mind-blowing part. Even if you personally boycotted Amazon and literally never ordered a single package again, the websites you use every single day, maybe even the platform you're on right now, very likely rely on this exact hidden infrastructure. And the financial contrast here is just stark. Look at this. In 2025, AWS generated $128.7 billion in sales. But look closely at the operating income, $45.6 billion. AWS is just unbelievably profitable. It is not some little side project. For a really long time, it has been the primary underlying profit engine driving the entire company's growth.
Finally, Section 5, the connected Amazon ecosystem.
Let's take a step back, pull all these separate pieces together, and see how this builds into just an unstoppable flywheel. We've got the online stores where customers buy products. We've got third-party sellers paying fees to use the marketplace. We have advertising where those sellers pay to reach customers. We have Prime collecting recurring fees and locking in that loyalty. And we have AWS, where totally different companies pay for cloud infrastructure. And that's not even mentioning physical stores, their devices, entertainment, healthcare, you name it. And this is the actual magic of the whole model. When one part grows, it actively helps the other parts grow. A customer comes to buy a product, so a seller joins to find that customer. That seller buys ads to stand out from the crowd. The customer buys Prime to get the shipping. And a totally different company buys AWS to host the seller's external website. It's this incredibly powerful, tightly interconnected ecosystem of totally diverse revenue streams. So what are the results of this ecosystem? Absolute behemoth figures. In 2025, Amazon generated $716.9 billion in total net sales, with $80 billion in operating income. The sheer scale and the success of this interconnected strategy is practically unmatched in all of modern business history. So if you take just one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Amazon didn't just build a store, it built an ecosystem. It built a self-sustaining world centered around customers, sellers, technology, advertising, subscriptions, and just massive, massive infrastructure. And that is the real reason they are so much more than just a website where you go to buy things. Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to ponder. Look around at the brands you interact with every single day. What other quote-unquote simple stores are actually hiding massive, interconnected global ecosystems right beneath the surface? Really think about it. Anyway, if you enjoy these clear, structured explanations of how the world's biggest companies actually work behind the scenes, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.